And then she wind down the windscreen and poured water on the face of the young man. She opened her door and continued pouring water on his face. This is how it started. This is the story of a young man who was going for a job interview. He was praying to God that he gets the job. While he was going, he was trying to dress up himself. And then he sees a car and looks at the mirror of the car and tries to adjust his clothes to make sure he's looking okay for the job. And then the woman inside winds down and started pouring water on his face for looking at her windscreen to adjust himself. She comes down from her car and asks him what is wrong with him and continues pouring the water on the face of the young man. She was pouring this water on his face for using her car windscreen to adjust his clothes. And then the young man asks and picks up his files. Why are you pouring water on my body? And then she says, wait, are you going for a job interview? Who is going to employ you looking like this, looking poor and hungry? Who is going to give you a job looking like this? You are very poor and hungry, and nobody's ever going to employ you or give you any job looking this way. The young man feels bad and then leaves the woman because he was focused on his job interview. She gets back into her car while he's still talking down on the young man. Finally, the young man gets to his destination. This happens to be a survey job interview where the young man has gotten to the location, and then a car drives also to the same location. Coincidentally, it is this same woman who had poured water on the body and face of this young man. She tries to adjust her clothes to make sure she's looking very okay for this job interview. So then she gets down from the car while the young man is sitting praying to God that he gets this particular job. She comes down from her car, carries her laptop, adjusts herself and starts walking towards the location the interviewer asked them to meet. And then she's surprised that she sees this same young man sitting on the floor, and she starts mocking him and laughing at him that you happen to be the same person who wants to compete for this job with me. You are never going to get this job. But the young man says no words to her and keeps his cool. She keeps mocking him, and then not too long, the survey and the feed interviewer comes around and sees the two young men we had contacted for this survey job. He greets the both of them and tells them that the job is quite simple, that all they have to do is to survey this land and give him an estimate of the size, breadth and length of this land. That he's going to come back in a few moments, that they should survey the whole land and give him the estimate, and that's the simple job.